We wait for a start. Looks like we're underway. Down to turn number 1. Matthew Kinsman takes advantage of being down the inside. Into turn 2 they come. Jordan Boys right with him side by side as they all make it through there cleanly. A couple of carts being pushed wide on the exit of the corner, but our 2 leaders just already seem to open about a 2-cart length break as they go down the straight.
Oh, a bit of a rub there for someone who's just been pushed wide on the exit.
Daniel Kinsman up there in 3rd place. Looking racy.
Scott Manson back and forth, looking very quick as well. He'll be hoping these guys start to have a bit of a tussle up. Kinsman taking the pressure from Jordan Boys.
Well, we've got one stranded in the middle of the track. That was going to be an interesting situation as he had a fleet of Rotax light carts coming on to him. As Boys now looks down the inside. New race leader. Switchback was on for Matthew Kinsman. He's settled back in 2nd place. So Jordan Boys, the Australian, the world number 3 in DD2, into the lead of this race in cart number 8.
So the order now, 12 laps to go, is Kinsman, Boys, Scott Manson, Daniel Kinsman, Daniel Connor, Andy Schofield, Reece Tinney, Jared Cleghorn in the 8th spot, Michael McCulloch back in 9th, and Campbell Joyce rounding out the top 10.
So Jordan Boys is trying to edge away slightly in the lead of this race at the moment. He's got the Kinsman pair looking racy as Daniel Kinsman now goes down the inside of his brother Matt.
Oh, and the 43's just gone off there. That's Zach Thompson.
Daniel Connor looking racy with a 45.854 down in 6th place. Andy Schofield, the match pre-race, 45.810 in 7th place at the moment. So he's dropped back a bit from where he started up in 4th, I think. Well, that's the heat grid. Thanks for clearing that one up.
We've got a, by the looks of it, a meatball flag coming out here for cart number 8.
Number 8. That's Jordan Boys. So I'm just trying to
establish what might actually falling off his cart. Can't see it from here, so we will have to see what's come off that cart or something loose. He'll have to come in.
Well, that's going to be a contentious one.
That's
a
that could be an underarm bowl there on the Australian.
I'd say there'll be a few questions being asked down in the boys' camp. Okay, now the bad sportsmanship flags coming out to cart number 8. Well, I'll make that my task post-race to establish what's actually happening down there.
Is that Daniel Connell just getting pushed wide there? He's not right at the front where I would have expected him to be.
He dropped back to a 46.033 on that lap as well. So he's about 0.2 off his best lap time of the race. So 45.595 for Jordan Boys.
So Dan Kinsman looks to be bridging that gap a little up to Jordan Boys. 2 Praga karts. That time round, Dan Kinsman 10th faster. Got the gap down to 4 tenths. And they're continually pulling away from Matthew and Scott Manson in 3rd and 4th. Still 5 laps to go. There's still a chance here for Dan Kinsman to slip down the inside of Jordan Boys. Four laps to go this time round. Boys leads Kinsman, followed by brother Matthew. 4th, Scott Manson. Reece Tinney, Daniel Connor back in the 6th spot. Michael McCulloch 7th. Chris Cox, the South Island champ, back in 8th. Andy Schofield 9th. And James Higgins rounding out the top 10. Boys still looking comfortable.
It's the second gap between 2nd and 3rd as well, so that's really opened up over the course of this race. With what, 3.5 laps remaining.
Well, I thought it would have been Matthew Kinsman putting the pressure on Boys, but it's younger brother Dan in the Praga kart.
Perhaps he went a bit of a different way with setup in that number 1 Sodi, that just hasn't gone as well for him.
So there's 3 laps to go. Boys, the Australians, still looking reasonably comfortable. Dan's just bringing that gap in.
The gap, yeah, down to 3/10 of a second between first and second place.
And Daniel Kinsman got that kart absolutely on the limit through there. 2 laps to go this time around.
So that 3/10 gap, and then subsequently Daniel Kinsman's opened up a further 2/10 on his brother Matthew Kinsman. So those 2 leaders certainly closing up and working together to extend their gap back to 3rd place. Manson P4, Reece Tinney P5, Daniel Connor P6. Setting a new personal best time of the race too, a 45.421. And that would almost actually make Daniel Connor the fastest on track with that 45.421.
That's more of the pace that I would have expected from young Daniel Connor.
Last lap now of this pre-final for Rotax Light here at the Kart Sport New Zealand National Championships. Of course, they have their final coming up later on this afternoon. It's going to be an enthralling battle. You'd suggest there'd be a bit of work going on setup-wise in the pit area to fine-tune these karts to make them quick for that final.
Only a few corners remaining now if Dan wants to have a go at Boys. He's not going to get it done there. It's just too far behind. He's going to have to concede that and come home in 2nd spot behind the Australian. Boys sacks the checkered flag. Kinsman, followed by Matthew, followed by Scott Manson. Daniel Connor up to 5th. Reece Tinney, Michael McCulloch, Christopher Cox, Andy Schofield, James Higgins rounding out the top 10. And Brad still back in 11th. He won't be so happy with that either. He's quite competitive in these Rotax lights. Obviously struggling a little bit today.